Hello, this is Dr. P here with a video lecture on interviews, a research method. Let's get started. There are different types or ways of doing research. You are probably familiar with some of these terms, but maybe you haven't had a lot of opportunities to practice them. First, let's talk about secondary research, which I'm sure you've had plenty of opportunities to practice. Secondary research is that library research, finding articles, books, websites, documentaries, etc. about research that has been completed by someone else. It's useful for understanding what has been done, getting a deeper understanding of a topic or concept, and for seeing how research is conducted. Primary research, on the other hand, is research you conduct yourself or with a team of people. There are many ways to conduct first-hand research, a few of which are listed here: observations, surveys, focus groups, and of course, interviews. Both types of research can share quantitative and qualitative information, or numerical and non-numerical data. And both quantitative and qualitative research can be subjective. Numbers can be manipulated and construed to create a specific story too. More about that later though. This video lecture focuses on interviews and their situation, purpose, audience, and mode, or what, why, and who and how. We will conduct interviews as part of our research for the Disciplinary and Professional Literacies Project, and you may find it a useful research method for future projects too. So let's talk about the situation. What exactly is an interview for research? Interviews as research method are primarily considered qualitative, although you can quantify the data through analysis methods such as coding. A good interview becomes a conversation between the interviewer and the participant. The interviewer begins by asking questions about a specific topic or concept, but they often end up asking follow-up questions rather than just those on their list. With so many research methods, why conduct personal or one-on-one interviews? They can be a time-consuming research method as they involve preparation, time for the interview, follow-up as needed, and transcription. But don't worry, we will do some of this work together so it's not quite so time-consuming or overwhelming. There are many benefits to interviews. As we discussed earlier this semester, interviews are a way to understand a person's lived experience, which is one way to combat the danger of a single story. During an interview, the participant tells us their story, how they experienced a situation or a moment or a place. It gives us one person's perspective on social, cultural, and environmental situations. Interviews are a way to gather information about a specific topic, experience, place, etc. And they are used in many disciplines for a variety of reasons: medicine, journalism, education, business, engineering, etc. Interviews can also help build your network through the connections you develop with your participant. You now have a collaborator or a co-conspirator in your educational path. Now that you are convinced of the efficacy of interviews for research, let's get into the nuts and bolts. Who do we talk to? How do we conduct interviews? The who is fairly open. You want to talk with someone who is an insider in your profession or discipline. This might be someone in your family or a family friend who works in the same or similar occupation which you are interested in. There are also tools and resources as part of your MSU network, the Career Services Network, to help you find participants. Some departments at MSU hold panel interviews, and we will conduct interviews in class with several participants in different disciplines and professions. Interviews draw on all three of our course learning outcomes: inquiry, discovery, communication. Through inquiry, we will prepare for your interview, find someone to talk with, and maybe do a little background research to help you prepare questions. We will also write questions in class. Discovery. Conduct the interview either by phone, virtually, such as Zoom or FaceTime, or in person. I am always asked, can't I just email a list of questions? Well, you could, but that isn't actually an interview. 1. Emailed questions are more of a survey or questionnaire that the participant completes on their own. 2. There is no back and forth, no conversation, so it can be more difficult to ask relevant follow-up questions in the moment. 3. Sometimes it takes more time because you are waiting for the participant to respond. So if you get in a situation where this is the only way to conduct your interview, let me know. It happens, but it's also not really an interview. Communication. The written project overview explains how you will be analyzing your interview in more detail. In general, I hope that you will develop a better understanding of what people in your discipline and profession do, and, more specifically, how they use reading, writing, speaking, and research in their jobs. One of the best ways to develop disciplinary and professional literacy is to talk with people who actually do the work in those disciplines and professions. College helps prepare you to join these professional communities, but much of your learning will still take place on the job. Research is formalized curiosity. It is poking and prying with a purpose. Zora Neale Hurston. Here are some more resources if you want to learn even more about interviewing as a research method. Short links are listed on the slide. This is one of my favorite research methods because I love hearing people's stories. We learn so much just by listening to one another. If you have more questions, please email me or schedule an appointment to chat. I know this sounds like a lot of work and like it will take a lot of time to complete, but I promise it is worth the effort. Every semester, students cite the interview as one of their favorite activities and the one where they learn so much about inquiry, discovery, and communication.